WWE Survivor Series 2009 pay-per-view review. The opening matchup was Team Morrison versus Team Miz, the first of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination matches. This is a pretty good, solid opener. Good way to start the pay-per-view off with. Team Miz consisted of The Miz, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Jack Swagger versus Team Miz of John Morrison, Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, Shelton, Benjamin, and Finlay. The match started off real good with a lot of good back and forth stuff with Jack Swagger and Evan Bourne to start the match off. Evan Bourne really made this match very good at the beginning. Unfortunately, got eliminated very quick in the match. The first elimination was Evan Bourne hitting the shooting star press onto Dolph Ziggler, eliminating Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph Ziggler was the first one eliminated. Then after that, Drew McIntyre came in there and eliminated Evan Bourne very quick. Then the next elimination came when Sheamus did the big boot kick to Finlay. Then the next elimination after that was Morrison eliminating Swagger after hitting Starship Pain. Then The Miz eliminated Shelton. Then McIntyre eliminated Hardy. So then it came down to The Miz, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre on The Miz team, and John Morrison was the only person left on his team, and he couldn't overcome the odds. It was too much for him, and then Sheamus eliminated Morrison, so The Miz's team went over in this match and won. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good opener, a very good way to start the show off with. I would give it 3 stars. Pretty good stuff in it. Now, it was some points in it that slowed down a little bit, but I would say overall, with the stuff that started off with Evan Bourne and Swagger did some good stuff. Morrison got in some good stuff as well. And it did, put over some of the guys, some of the newer guys like Sheamus and McIntyre not getting eliminated in this match. And really helped The Miz win in this match as well. And good overall opener. I'll give it 3 stars. Then the next matchup was Batista versus Rey Mysterio. And this match at first, it wasn't a long match. It's probably about 8 to 9 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe pushing 10 minutes, probably 8 to 9 minutes for the most part. And at the beginning, it was pretty much back and forth. Rey Mysterio was getting in some good offense on Batista, but then Batista pretty much dominated him the last couple minutes of the match. And this is pretty much writing Rey Mysterio off because if some of you don't know, Rey Mysterio is suffering from injuries and he's going to be having to take some time off. Don't necessarily know how long he's going to be taking time off, but yeah, he is battling some injuries right now, and he'll be taking some time off. Rey Mysterio is starting to get that point in his career that he's kind of getting injured on a very frequent basis, or at least injured enough every year that he's probably going to have to, if he wants to continue wrestling, he's probably going to have to get some type of schedule like The Undertaker or like Shawn Michaels where he only does television and doesn't do house shows, or if he does house shows, he does them very rarely. That's the way they're probably going to have to do it, because Rey Mysterio is going to need to cut back on how many dates he works if he still wants to, wrestle in WWE, because he is kind of battling a lot of injuries, and obviously through the years of some of the stuff he's done in the past, obviously he's going to have some knee problems, and the less he works, the better he's going to be able to still continue his wrestling career. And the end of the match came when Rey Mysterio took a spear from Batista, Batista did a spine buster to him, and then he hit 3 Batista bombs, and the referee stopped the match because Rey Mysterio couldn't continue. Then after the match, Rey Mysterio got on they put him on a gurney and put him on a stretcher and wheeled him out. So obviously that's him being written off for a little bit off of WWE television. So he'll probably be gone for a little bit. And the only thing that hurt, Batista's thing as a heel, I really don't like Batista that much, and a lot of people, internet wrestling fans don't like Batista that much. But I'll, say his heel turn has helped him a little bit. It has helped his character. But the one thing that kind of hurt it was, you had this in Washington, D.C., which is Batista's hometown. He was pretty much getting cheered after he was just pretty much, beating the hell out of Rey Mysterio. Then after the match, after the 3 power bombs after the match was stopped, Batista still took it to Rey Mysterio. Then after that, after Batista went to the back, that's when they put him on the gurney, put him on the stretcher, and wheeled Rey Mysterio out to write him off. since it was, some good stuff in it, and it did go long enough that it can't be like one of those NA matches. It was like, 3 to 4 minutes, and Batista just did, 3 power bombs and, just dominated them for 3 to 4 minutes. Couldn't really give it a rating, but there was some entertaining stuff in it, and I would give it overall 2.5 stars. It was at least somewhat enjoyable. Then the next matchup was Team Orton versus Team Kofi Kingston. And Team Orton was Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, CM Punk, and William Regal versus Team Kingston of Kofi Kingston, MVP, Mark Henry, R-Truth, and Christian. And this was the this was the best of the 3 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination matches of the night, which I think a lot of people were expecting. This overall was a very good stuff within this match. Now, the eliminations went pretty much right off the bat within probably a minute or two in the match, probably even less than that. Orton eliminated Mark Henry after hitting the RKO. Then CM Punk eliminated R-Truth. Then Christian eliminated DiBiase. Then MVP eliminated Regal. Then Rhodes eliminated MVP. Christian eliminated Rhodes after that. So Christian eliminated both members of Legacy, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase. Then Orton eliminated Christian, so it came down to CM Punk and Randy Orton being the final 2 on their team, with Kingston being the only one left on his team. And then he pretty much rolled up CM Punk very quick, eliminated CM Punk. Then out of nowhere, when Randy Orton looked like he was about to come in there, do his little Viper thing, and hit the RKO on Kofi Kingston. Kingston hits the Trouble in Paradise on Randy Orton. So surprisingly, Kingston goes over this match. Him and Orton in the match, and Kingston pins him for the 1, 2, 3, and Team Kingston goes over in this match and wins. And this is a very good push for Kingston. I gotta say, I mean, WWE's been doing a good job with this push so far, which is really surprising that he's getting such a huge push that he's getting. But he's getting over with the fans. The fans really buy him as a top star, and possibly he could be a contender for a World Heavyweight Championship sometime down the line, because it's very big to for a push right now. That they did the thing in Madison Square Garden with the brawl with him and Orton, which was very, very good, and pretty much Kingston dominated most of that. And then on this pay-per-view, pretty much he was the final person. He was the sole survivor on his team, and he was able to eliminate guys that were just a month or so ago that were, former World Heavyweight Champions, and CM Punk and Randy Orton. So that's pretty big for him right there. And I would say there's some good stuff in this match. I would give it 3.5 stars. This was the best of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination matches of the night. Then the next matchup was Big Show versus Chris Jericho versus The Undertaker in the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And probably like many people were expecting, this was not going to be that good of a match. Big Show really didn't hurt it that much, but it just seemed like a very slow-paced match, even when it was Undertaker versus Chris Jericho. They did some good stuff, but even the stuff they did, I was expecting a little better from them. I mean, this is kind of, a subpar triple threat. It wasn't that good at all. I would say, it was a little above watchable, because there was some good stuff in it, but overall it wasn't. And the end of the match came when Undertaker put Big Show into the Hell's Gate submission hold, and Big Show taps out. And I would say about a 2.5 star match. A little about average / a little above average, but really at best, just a watchable match. Then the next matchup was the last of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination matches. This was Team Mickie versus Team McCool. And this was Team Michelle McCool was Michelle McCool, Jillian Hall, Beth Phoenix, Layla, and Alicia Fox, with Team Mickie being Mickie James, Eve Torres, Kelly, Melina, and Gail Kim. And WWE really must not, see that much in Gail Kim, because she hasn't really been doing much at all. And I think she was probably one of the first people eliminated in this match, which was very disappointing. I was, wanted to see some stuff with Gail Kim and Beth Phoenix in this match. That would have been good. And the good thing about this match, at best I would say this is kind of like a typical WWE Divas match. It wasn't really anything special. It was just watchable at best. But the one thing I'll give it credit for over some, past, Divas 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches. It wasn't one of those complete clusterfucks where it was elimination every 5 seconds and it was like a 5-minute match. Now it might have been given a little more time than probably what it should have deserved. The main event probably could have maybe got some more time. Or maybe the Orton and Kingston, Team Orton versus Team Kingston could have been given more time. But I'll give this credit. At least it wasn't a clusterfuck. At least it wasn't elimination one after another. That was the good thing in this match. And when they did do elimination, like that, they only did like back-to-back once. And that was when Beth Phoenix eliminated 2 people off of Team Mickie, which made sense because Beth Phoenix is supposed to be that, dominant diva in WWE. And the way the match ends, it was the it was on Team Mickie. It was Melina and Mickie James being the sole survivors on their team, and Michelle McCool being the last one eliminated on Team Michelle, with Melina eliminating Michelle. She was the last one eliminated. And like I said, this was watchable at best. Kind of a typical Divas match, 2 stars at best, but it was at least a watchable match. Then the main event was the triple threat match for the WWE Championship. This was Triple H versus Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. And this was a good match. You saw some good stuff in here. The match started off in a way probably no one expected to start, with Shawn Michaels super kicking Triple H off the bat. And this match, this is one of those triple threats that it was some good stuff in it, and what good was in it. It made it overall a good match, but it wasn't a great triple threat. It wasn't one of those, triple threats where, they kind of mixed well with each other, all 3 of them at the same time. They kind of booked it in a way where it was, at some points, it was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels to start off with. Then it was John Cena versus Triple H. Then it was Shawn Michaels and Triple H. But you saw some very good chemistry with all 3 of these when they were against each other. With Shawn Michaels and John Cena, they have very good chemistry. I wouldn't mind seeing them too, because obviously the next WWE pay-per-view is going to be the TLC pay-per-view. So with that, I'm expecting them maybe do Shawn Michaels and John Cena for the WWE Championship. Because when you think of it, who else can you really put in a ladder match with John Cena? The best person to be is would be Shawn Michaels. And there's some good stuff in this match, good counters in this match. Overall, an entertaining main event. Just it wasn't it wasn't a great match for a main event. It was just a good to very good main event. And John Cena did retain the WWE Championship. After the end of the match came when Shawn Michaels hit the Sweet Chin music onto Triple H. Then Triple H was down. Then Shawn Michaels gets the attitude adjustment from John Cena. John Cena does and throws him onto Triple H. And then John Cena pins Triple H. So Triple H takes the fall in this match, and John Cena does retain the championship. I would say about a 3.5-star match. Now, this pay-per-view isn't one of those pay-per-views I would say is a must-see, but there are some entertaining stuff on here. The main event, I would say, was pretty good. And the Team Orton versus Team Kingston was good, and the opening match was good. So there were some good stuff on this pay-per-view. So overall, I'll give this pay-per-view a 7 out of 10. But it isn't one of those pay-per-views I would say is a must-see, must-order. But there's some stuff I think people will enjoy on here. The main event was solid. The Team Orton and Kingston match, I would say, is worth checking out. And the opening is worth checking out. And pretty much the only thing I would probably skip, is the Diva match is watchable, but if you skip that, you're not really missing much. If you skip the other triple threat, you're not really missing much either. So like I said, overall, I give this 7 out of 10. Kind of on the borderline of an okay to good show, but kind of somewhat in the lines of being an average WWE pay-per-view. My WWE Survivor Series 2009 pay-per-view review. The opening matchup was Team Morrison versus Team Miz, the first of the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination matches. This is a pretty good, solid opener. Good way to start the pay-per-view off with. Team Miz consisted of The Miz, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, and Jack Swagger. It was too much for him, and then Sheamus eliminated Morrison, so The Miz's team went over in this match and won. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good opener, a very good way to start the show off with. I would give it 3 stars. Pretty good stuff in it. Now, it was some points in it that slowed down a little bit, but I would say overall, with the stuff that started Tiger versus Team Miz of John Morrison, Matt Hardy, Evan Bourne, Shelton, Benjamin, and Finlay. The match started off real good with a lot of good back and forth stuff with Jack Swagger and Evan Bourne to start the match off. Evan Bourne really made this match very good at the beginning. Unfortunately, got eliminated very quick in the match. The first after that was Morrison eliminating Swagger after hitting Starship Pain. Then The Miz eliminated Shelton. Then McIntyre eliminated Hardy. So then it came down to The Miz, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre on The Miz team, and John Morrison was the only person left on his team, and he couldn't overcome the odds. Elimination was Evan Bourne hitting the Shooting Star Press onto Dolph Ziggler, eliminating Dolph Ziggler, so Dolph Ziggler was the first one eliminated. Then after that, Drew McIntyre came in there and eliminated Evan Bourne very quick. Then the next elimination came when Sheamus did the big boot kick to Finlay. Then the next elimination